Coming up on AgweekTV, the U.S. wins a WTO case against China for limiting access to U.S. grain exports. House and Senate Ag Committee leaders talk about settling trade and tariff issues. Farmers are sharing the story of the importance of livestock production at this outreach event put on by Families Feeding Families. And weather delays planting in the northern Corn Belt. Welcome to AgweekTV. I'm Michelle Rook. The United States has won a World Trade Organization ruling against China's use of tariff rate quotas for rice, wheat, and corn. Trade officials successfully argued China wasn't filling its TRQs, which limited access for U.S. grain exports. USDA estimates if those had been fully used, China would have imported up to $3.5 billion of corn, wheat, and rice in 2015 alone. Farm groups say this is a positive ruling for American farmers that will help them compete more fairly.
And I think it'll help our exports and give us on a level playing field that we haven't been on in a long time. And we're looking forward to that being all those trade issues going away and us getting back to what we do best and grow wheat and export it.
China did not buy any U.S. wheat in 2018 and has not filled its total TRQ of 10 million metric tons of U.S. grain since joining the WTO in 2001. China is expected to appeal the decision. The case was lodged in late 2016 and marks the second U.S. trade victory. In March, the WTO ruled China's price supports for grain violated trade rules. Republican agricultural leaders don't directly criticize the Trump administration's trade deals, but everyone, regardless of party, wants them resolved soon. Mikkel Pates met with several ag leaders in Washington and has more in this week's Ag Week cover story.
The U.S. House and Senate face several thorny issues, including trade and the poor farm economy. Kansas Senator Pat Roberts, who chairs the Senate Ag Committee, praised the bipartisan effort on the 2018 Farm Bill. But he says now is the time to iron out the trade and tariff issues, especially with China and North America.
They know that we are a reliable supplier, or we have been, and hope to be, will be, and also that our product is the best. If it works right, it will be a rather spectacular success.
Ranking Republican Representative Mike Conaway of Texas agrees that trade deals need to get done as quickly as possible.
Time is of the essence. I mean, folks are either going out of business or being hurt right now. So getting this thing done, the trade deals done in particular, is really important. And you can't get them done quickly enough to begin to alleviate the impact that the turmoil is having on producers.
Minnesota Representative Colin Peterson, who chairs the Ag Committee, says he's pleased with the 2018 Farm Bill, especially as it benefits dairy farmers.
If you want a dairy farm, this is the best time that I've seen in my career to get into dairy farming. You're never going to have a time like this to get into dairy and to have a 5-year basically guarantee on your gross revenue, which is what this program does.
Peterson says now they're trying to work out relief for several parts of the country hit by natural disasters. In Washington, D.C., this is Mikkel Pates for Ag Week.
You can read more in the next Ag Week magazine or at agweek.com. When Democrats won the majority in the House last year, Colin Peterson regained his position as chairman of the House Ag Committee, and he's making a few changes in how it does business. Peterson is looking to put responsibility back on subcommittee chairs, a way to get more input from constituents. Two of the new faces in leadership are Representative Stacey Plaskett of the Virgin Islands and Abigail Spanberger of Virginia. Spanberger sponsored a bill to expand broadband in rural areas. She compares the digital divide to rural electrification in the 1930s.
Different communities need different things, but if it's farm equipment that's uploading and downloading information and needs access to the internet, or it's a kid trying to study for a report or research colleges or anything, it is creating a divide within communities it's detrimental.
Spanberger says 30% of rural Americans lack high-speed fixed broadband compared to just 2% of urban Americans. The Minnesota Department of Agriculture has found a new route for the invasive weed Palmer amaranth to spread. It's through grain and seed screenings used as feed. In an investigation in Redwood County, the agency determined the weed found its way into a soybean field through cattle manure. The cattle were fed screenings from contaminated sunflower seed. They've since found Palmer amaranth seeds in screenings throughout the state, some containing as much as 250 seeds per pound. Weed experts know it's vital to stay ahead of this extremely destructive weed.
We've got to continue to be vigilant. We have to look. We have to ask questions. Be curious about things in the landscape that don't look right. And if you're not sure, ask for help. It's a game changer. It will redefine the cost of weed control in whatever crops we find it in.
Palmer amaranth was first discovered in Minnesota in 2016, but thanks to aggressive eradication efforts, it's not been found since then. South Dakota continues to promote livestock development, but there is public pushback in some areas. In Yankton County, farmers building new hog facilities were recently sued by neighbors, and a new county commission is enforcing stricter rules for new permits. This is prompting farmers to go on the offensive with events like Families Feeding Families. The goal of this advocacy event was to share a meal and bridge the gap between farmers and the community about agriculture, particularly livestock production.
I don't think people realize that agriculture or family farms is a small business, and they don't give them the permission or they don't allow them to grow.
She and her husband Josh talked about their swine operation near Vollen and how it adds value to area grain.
Well, if we can feed it here, then the money stays here. Instead of paying somebody over here, we're paying people in our community. There'll be more jobs.
Yankton County isn't alone in its struggle to expand livestock numbers, especially with fewer farmers.
We're the minority. A lot of times the municipalities have the numbers if we have a vote on an initiative or something. So it gets tougher and tougher.
Speaker Trent Luce says most attacks on livestock are tied to environmental concerns, which are false.
We would not have a healthy environment without animal agriculture. When we confine animals, we have the opportunity to manage the manure, which is not a waste.
And he says farmers need to share that story with consumers.
I would challenge the farmers to have more conversations with people who have been misled.
A permit for a 2,400 head nursery pig unit is set to go before the new commission and will be the litmus test for how the permitting rules will be enforced. Ahead on AgweekTV, we'll meet a rancher who's had more than harsh weather to overcome this year.
Dynaflow is the ultimate high-volume water management pump. Whether you're experiencing flooding, emptying sloughs, transferring ponds, or working on irrigation, the Dynaflow pump works in as little as 18 inches of water and is designed to move 3,000 gallons per minute. The Dynaflow pump features neoprene-lined turbine bearings backed up with a sand collar to prevent debris and grit, all to assure your pump keeps working season after season. Find out more at dynaflowpump.com.
One of the things that Mosaic does really well is focuses on balanced crop nutrition in the premium products that we design. And one of those products is Micro Essentials. But it provides in every single granule a nitrogen, phosphorus, sulfur, in some cases zinc. We added sulfur and zinc with Micro Essentials because sulfur is one of the most deficient nutrients and zinc is the most deficient micronutrient. So our goal is balanced crop nutrition and being able to provide those products to the farmers in the world today.
Mother Nature doesn't always cooperate. So when conditions are right, be ready with genuine Case IH parts from Titan Machinery. Only genuine Case IH parts are engineered to keep your equipment running at peak efficiency when you're running around the clock. Don't risk your bottom line with off-brand parts that don't meet the same standards. Visit your local Titan Machinery dealership today to find out why genuine Case IH parts offer the best value and performance for your operation.
Luckin Trucks and Parts sells quality used parts for all makes and models. With over 50 acres of trucks and parts and new inventory arriving daily. Family owned and operated since 1966, Luckin's specializes in the sale of quality used medium to heavy duty truck parts as well as pre-owned trucks, trailers, and construction equipment. If it's on a truck, we got it. Call us today and let us get you your part.
DTE is your headquarters for flatbeds and service bodies for your truck. Whether you need to haul bales, heavy commercial equipment, or take every tool with you, DTE has the truck equipment you need. We have over 200 units on hand or will custom build a flatbed or service body on your truck.
Like this Dewey's bale bed with dual lift cylinder arms. Lift, load, and handle your bales with ease.
When you need help at the farm, your business, or in the oil patch, count on DTE. DTE, let us build a truck for you.
This was a difficult calving season for most ranchers, but one family had some extra stress. Ellen Vollmer was just days out of the hospital from having a brain tumor removed when he attended the Vollmer Angus Ranch Bull Sale this week. Jenny Schlecht was there and has more.
575 and now 75. A standing room only crowd filled the Vollmer Angus Ranch Bull Sale on April 23rd. It capped a tough run for the Vollmer family that started several months ago when health issues surfaced for Alan Vollmer. He had a benign brain tumor removed in late March, but ended up back in the hospital with blood clots.
Everything was going really good and feeling pretty good and getting stronger, and we're going to go get this thing done, and then bang, we ended up getting some blood clots and really backed things up. And spent another week in the hospital and had some more surgery. But we're going the right way now again, so here we go.
The Vollmers run about 600 registered cows and are selling about 110 bulls at this auction. Alan's back in the saddle now, but he's had plenty of help from family and friends to get through this time.
My son had his hands more than full, but the girls stepped up and helped whenever they could. And then we were fortunate enough to get some part-time help from my neighbor.
Vollmer's been in the cattle business his whole life, and he's grateful to still be doing it. In fact, he was out checking cattle within an hour of getting home from the hospital.
I guess it's always been what I've always wanted to do ever since I was very young. I just enjoy the cattle business. We do some grain farming, but it's all pretty much revolved around the cattle. And I was gone for 3 weeks, and a chance to jump in a pickup and just drive around and look at the new calves and whatever was. I couldn't hardly wait. We're dedicated, and that's what we want to do, and we're going to keep doing it, get them better, and just keep going.
In Wing, North Dakota, this is Jenny Schlecht for Ag Week.
This was the 42nd annual sale for Vollmer Angus. Despite low crop prices, cover crops are catching on in the Midwest. According to the recent Census of Agriculture, every Midwestern state saw an increase in cover crop acres from 2012 to 2017. Nationwide, cover crop use grew 50% from 10.3 million acres in 2012 to 15.4 million acres in 2017. Cover crops are planted for many reasons, including to reduce erosion, conserve moisture, regenerate soil, and reduce weed and insect pressure. They can also reduce input costs. According to the Census of Ag, North Dakota and South Dakota increased cover crop acres 89% from 2012 to 2017. Among Midwestern states, Minnesota had the second smallest growth at just 42%, but acres in Iowa grew the most, up 161%. Nebraska ranked sixth, more than doubling its acres.
I would think that the rate would increase over the next 5 years because now we have farmers using these practices in multiple areas. And we know that when practices start getting used in other farmers' backyards, that they feel like they can adopt it on their own farms.
There's still room for improvement. According to North Central Sustainable Ag Research and Education, cover crops are only planted on about 7% of the roughly 230 million acres of cropland in the U.S. that could be cover cropped. Coming up on AgweekTV, what in flooded fields are greatly delaying the spring wheat planting season in the northwestern Corn Belt. And we'll see if this spring's wet weather pattern will persist in our Ag Weather Outlook.
This is Dennis Belisky reminding you we do auctions and we do them well. You've built your operation with hard work, and when it's time to sell, all or part, you deserve the best. Details from repairs and preparation to promotion and settlements are not routine. Chances are you'll only do this once, so we'll tailor an auction just for you and get it done right. On-site at your farm or added to one of our highly successful Alaris Center auctions, we have the skill, reputation, and integrity to meet your needs with best-in-class commitment and quality service. Find us at resourceauction.com or call 701-757-4015.
How can one tillage tool handle most field conditions, residue types, and tillage practices? It takes a Renegade, the Summers VRT Renegade. Switch from vertical to aggressive tillage and anywhere in between. Adjust blade angles, tillage depth, and more on the go, all from an iPad. Get the tillage results you want, like only the Summers VRT Renegade can. For more information or a demo, contact your Summers dealer.
For over 40 years, Northside Implement has been your Gallon Vermeer dealer in Webster, South Dakota and Lidgerwood, North Dakota, with new equipment including feeding, grain handling, haying, and skid steer, as well as a nice selection of used equipment including sprayers, spreaders, seeding, as well as tractors and loaders. Northside Implement stands behind the equipment they sell with quality service guaranteed. See us for all your repairs and parts from tillage to skid steer loaders to combines and everything in between. Contact Dave, Liddell, Mike, or Chris today at Northside Implement or visit our website for our complete equipment listings.
At Superior Grain Equipment, we're committed to quality and service, offering you the best in grain storage and dryers for any size operation. Our experts will work with you to determine the most efficient and economical storage solution for your needs. We help protect your bottom line and your future with the industry's best bins and warranties. Make the superior choice for protection today and tomorrow with Superior Grain Equipment.
With the success of the Case IH Steiger Quad Track and Magnum Road Track tractors, it's no secret why Case IH is the leader of the track. So it wasn't surprising when the competition started imitating us. But only Case IH offers a 5-axle design to give you a smoother ride, more power to the ground, with less berming and compaction. Still, we're flattered. In fact, if we weren't already red, we'd be blushing.
Farmers in the northwestern Corn Belt are facing spring wheat planting delays with the recent snow and flooded fields. This was evident in this week's USDA crop progress report. Spring wheat planting is at a standstill in Minnesota and North Dakota as of April 21st, while South Dakota farmers had seeded 2% of the crop, which greatly lags the 47% average. Laird Larson's planter sits in the yard, like many, waiting for fields to dry out. He says the planting window is narrowing in his area of South Dakota, especially with so many wet spots in his fields.
Here in the Northeast, we'll probably go till the 5th to 10th of May without too much trouble, just to try to keep our rotation going with wheat acres.
The last planting dates for spring wheat for crop insurance are also approaching. In southeastern South Dakota, the cutoff is May 5th, and in the Northeast, it's May 15th. This week's Crop Stop takes us to Minokan in central North Dakota, just east of Bismarck. Thane Doctor has a certified organic operation with 3,500 acres in Burleigh and Kidder counties. Mickle caught up with the doctor this week as he was getting ready to do some field breaking on alfalfa. He'll also plant peas, wheat, and flax with corn the second week in May. Doctor says despite the rough winter, he's pretty much on schedule.
It seems like it's about normal. Some of the crops that we're preparing the ground for, it kind of varies. Some of them the soils are lighter and some are a little heavier. We have a little more water sitting around this year in some of the low spots. And some of the fields we aren't able to get into right away.
Doctor says they have to monitor soil temps more closely for organics. He says adequate moisture should give his crops a good start. Will our wet field conditions continue? Here's Lydia with our agri-weather outlook.
Weather portion of Ag Week now, and let's start with the good news. The really cold air will stay up near the Hudson Bay where it belongs. We've seen this flat kind of zonal jet stream the past week or so. That's what kept our weather so quiet last work week. But there's changes on the way. With this flat jet stream, we've kind of got this cool air pooled over the northern tier of the country. And as we head into the next week, we're all going to see below average temperatures in the northern half of the country with above average to the south. As we get into the middle parts of the work week, that flat jet stream starts to get a little more amplitude. Here we are on Wednesday. A ridge builds into the eastern half of the country that lets warm air seek from the south up to the north, warmer into the Corn Belt and into the Great Lakes region, while a trough builds out on the western United States, allowing cooler air to pool down right out of Canada onto the west coast. As we get into Thursday, that even strengthens a little bit more, allowing an active pattern to set up right into the northern plains. But as we make our way into late week, this starts to recede and warmer air makes its way well into the northern plains. I think we'll see a little bit of a warm up as we get into next weekend. Now, don't get too used to the warm weather. It is spring and we're likely to see another cool down followed by another warm up. So temperatures kind of bouncing as we make our way into May. As far as precipitation goes, with that pattern setting up, storms can hop on this highway of the jet stream, make their way right into the northern plains. So I expect we see a wide area of showers, even some higher elevation snow. Some of that could mix in at times if temperatures fall below freezing at night. To the south, where we have cold fronts running into warm Gulf moisture, and that runs into each other, we can get some severe storms. So I expect severe storms to continue across parts of the deep south. The next week, a ridge builds into the eastern United States, kind of pushes the shower activity off to the east coast, and the storms further down into the deep south. As we head into May, we're looking at those up and down roller coaster temperatures. Spring showers continue, and we're looking at the storms staying in the deep south.
Steffes Group, selling land and the equipment to farm it since 1960. If you're interested in selling or have questions about our auction process, head to our website at steffesgroup.com to contact us at any one of our 4 locations located throughout the Midwest. You can also visit and subscribe to our YouTube channel to view all of our auction previews and recaps to stay up to date on the market in your area.
With the all-new GreenFit system from Ricard, plug and play is finally a reality when using John Deere AutoTrack guidance with existing new products like the Challenger 1000 series or all-new C-Series row gators from Butler Machinery. GreenFit is an authorized navigation interface that utilizes existing John Deere AutoTrack guidance system to steer most Challenger tractors and sprayers. GreenFit eliminates the worry of learning and converting to a new steering system when buying an industry-leading Challenger from Butler Machinery. Learn more about GreenFit at butlermachinery.com.
Farmers take pride in growing safe, affordable, nutritious food. And since over 90% of U.S. farms are family or individually owned, keeping land and animals healthy makes sense for all of us. If you have questions about the food you eat, talk to the people who grow it. North Dakota farmers and ranchers are your best source for reliable facts on food and farming. Visit findourcommonground.com and become part of the food conversation today. Brought to you by the North Dakota Soybean Checkoff.
Field Drainage Inc. has perfected the art of agricultural drainage by helping hundreds of farmers since 1978. We are a second-generation family-owned business for over 35 years. The Field Drainage Inc. team will work closely with you to conduct a thorough analysis of your needs and expectations, provide an estimate that fits your budget, perform all work in a timely and professional manner, and provide continued service after installation. Field Drainage Inc., your trusted drain tile installation company for over 35 years.
Martinson Ag Risk Management offers a variety of crop marketing and crop insurance packages to our customers. With over 40 years of experience, our dedicated staff works hard to ensure you get the best advice on crop insurance, marketing, and risk management. Contact Randy or any of the staff at Martinson Ag Risk Management today at 701-205-4200 or visit us online at martinsonag.com.
Claims against the failed businesses of grain trader Hunter Hansen have topped $11 million. That's up $3 million from previous reports. The new figure includes $8.6 million for grain that sellers say was actually picked up by Hansen's businesses. But checks to pay for the grain bounced or never arrived. Last fall, the North Dakota Public Service Commission shut down Hansen's businesses after multiple reports of bounced checks. Hansen, who is 21, remains in the McLean County Jail on theft charges. He also faces several civil lawsuits. Meanwhile, the case has spawned several bills in the state legislature to revamp regulation of grain traders. South Dakota lawmakers joined top leadership from the International Dairy Foods Association in Millbank this week for a fly-in focused on trade. They participated in a roundtable discussion with leaders in the dairy and processing industry and called for labor and immigration reform, plus the passage of pending trade agreements critical to agriculture, such as the USMCA.
Trade is just so important to our dairy industry. And if you think about the I-29 corridor here and the growth that they're experiencing here in South Dakota, trade's going to become a bigger and bigger piece of that.
A lot of the dairy that gets processed here in a place like South Dakota gets exported to Canada or to Mexico, and so the USMCA is critical that we get that trade deal approved, finalized.
They also toured the newly expanded Valley Queen dairy plant and talked about the significant economic impact the dairy industry has in South Dakota. A former Minnesota farm kid is the new vice president of communications for the National Milk Producers Federation. The trade group represents dairy farmers that are members of cooperative processors. Ellen Bierga started a career in journalism after college, eventually focusing on ag coverage. Now he oversees all communications for the national milk producers, from dairy producers to co-ops to consumers and lawmakers.
All of them become part of public policy solutions, and you have to be thinking of all of these different audiences and their interests when you try to craft effective public policy that serves dairy producers.
Still ahead on AgweekTV, some NDSU Ag students win national honors.
With the success of the Case IH Steiger Quad Track and Magnum Road Track tractors, it's no secret why Case IH is the leader of the track. So it wasn't surprising when the competition started imitating us. But only Case IH offers a 5-axle design to give you a smoother ride, more power to the ground, with less berming and compaction. Still, we're flattered. In fact, if we weren't already red, we'd be blushing.
Do you have a vested interest in land?
The upcoming Great Plains Land Expo is a must-attend event for landowners, developers, mineral interest owners, farm operators, and investors.
Join us on Wednesday, June 26 in Fargo as we hear from a variety of industry leaders speaking on topics relating to land, energy, and minerals.
You'll discover ways to capitalize on agriculture and energy opportunities and learn how to become a better steward of our natural resources.
Early bird rates are available, so register today at GreatPlainsLandExpo.com.
Advanced Grain Handling is your regional dealer for grain handler dryers, bins, and accessories. With Grain Handler's continuous mixed flow drying systems, you're capable of high levels of grain dryer efficiency on all types of grain, including seed grain. Advanced Grain Handling also carries West Steel's quality stainless steel products for on-farm and commercial grain storage solutions. Advanced Grain Handling has licensed and trained service techs and a licensed electrical shop. Get a hold of Chad Kylo to find the perfect solution for your farm.
When planting season comes around, time is precious and you don't have a moment to waste. This spring, keep your planters rolling with a user-friendly seed tender from North Star Ag. We have seed tenders for every sized operation from Meridian, Unverferth, and J&M. North Star Ag also sells a variety of Valmar spreaders, the leader in air boom delivery, and is a full-service Meridian hopper bin dealer. Visit NorthstarAg.com to see our complete new and used equipment inventory or give us a call.
Dig, lay, and bury drain tile all in one pass with the Crary Tile Pro Plow. The Crary Tile Pro Plow lays tile up to 7 feet deep with boot sizes of 4 to 12 inches. Advantages of installing drain tile to your field provides increased overall yield, improved soil moisture levels, and controls soil erosion. It pays to tile with a Crary Tile Pro. To locate a dealer near you, visit www.crarytilepro.com.
Some NDSU Ag students brought home a prestigious national award. They won the National Ag Marketing Association Collegiate Competition. Students create marketing plans for products that benefit farmers. They competed against more than 30 schools, including Texas A&M, the University of Minnesota, and SDSU. The NDSU students made a pitch for oat milk ice cream as a good alternative to dairy.
It takes a lot of work, and all semester, probably 100 plus hours go into building this thing correctly, because you need to understand the market. There's tons of research. You need to build the plan. You need to graphically design it. You need to create the presentation.
The last time NDSU won this was in 1969. We'd like to know what you think about Ag Week. We've put a survey about Ag Week magazine and AgweekTV on our website to get input from readers and viewers about our content. It'll only take a few minutes and you'll be entered in a drawing to win a Yeti cooler. You'll find it at agweek.com until May 15th. Thanks for watching this week's edition of AgweekTV. Remember, for all your ag news, go to agweek.com. We'll see you next week.